Round 6. Round 6 of the World TX Championship, the bird eye view on the track in the beautiful Ardennes in Belgium. Taking a look on the track, which is one of the most beautiful and wonderful tracks in all race series in the world.
Yeah, and one of the most famous as well. There you can see the two WRT drivers, Devin Braune and Kristensen. And WRT is hosting the event today as they are the only Belgian team on the grid.
Lasse Sørensen is back after COVID. Michael Niemeyer is the first time in the season this year at the track. We're gonna have Przemysław Lemanek from Poland, and Martin Stefanko is once again back on the track.
Yeah, there is Walter and WRT Pro. Walter currently leading the championship as Devin Browner won the last two races. And there you can see drive fast, act faster. The organization they will support for the climate. And
there you can see the art car of Drive Fast and Act Faster, the wonderful car which will be used by Dries van Toor this race at the 6th round of the World EX season 2022, the second season. Luisa, welcome.
Martin, welcome as well. Great to have you here again.
I'm really looking forward to this wonderful racetrack. First of all, and second of all, I'm really looking forward to a wonderful race this evening. And I guess we're gonna continue with some more stuff later on with about the track. And of course, we're gonna have a track view with Mr. Chris Overend, isn't it?
Yeah, of course, as he is the driver for WRT, who's hosting today. He will do the track guide and show us around Spa-Francorchamps, the most iconic track in the world.
Hi, I'm Chris Overend. I drive for WRT in the RCCO World X. Welcome to another round of the RCCO World X Championship, where we are at Spa-Francorchamps. Very excited to race here. This is one of my favourite tracks to drive. I cannot wait to drive this in real life. I hope I get the opportunity to. We expect to see a lot of close racing here, a lot of slipstreaming. It's a very fast circuit, very tricky circuit, very technical circuit in places. Yeah, I think we're going to see some real action tonight. So let's take you on board for a lap here. So we're going to come into the first hairpin. Really important to get a good braking point and get the car turned in, get a nice exit, and then we're going to come up to a very, what you can't see here is how downhill the section is coming into Eau Rouge, which is a very fast corner into Radian. Getting a good exit out of this corner is crucial. We expect to see a lot of slipstreaming coming up the Kemmel Straight. And now we're coming into Lake Coombe, which has been the source of many incidences in Formula One, especially last year with Lewis and Max. Very tricky little part to get your braking right. And then we're going to come to our downhill section again into turn 10. Very easy to lock up the tyres here. I've gone a bit deep there into this corner. So we come into the next part of the track, which is going to be Pouhon, which is a very tricky, very fast left-hander. I think you can make quite a lot of time getting this right. You lose a lot of time when you get this wrong. We're now coming into the exit of the chicane as we come into Stavolo. All these corners, it's super important, your line, super important getting the power down early, especially on the exit of this one as we come up to Blanchimont, which is again another very high speed corner. This corner we're going to be taking flat this year. Careful not to go over the track limits, and then you've got another tricky braking zone as we enter the last chicane and come over the finish line to finish a lap at Spa. I hope you enjoy the race tonight, and yeah, I hope you put on a good show.
Absolutely unbelievable how he describes the track and how he describes a lap on the track, which is a wonderful track, of course. First of all, and second of all, it really looks like that he loves this track. And just what he said, he would love to have it on real racing, not with Esport racing, but to be in a car where he is a disabled driver, is able to drive this car on the real Spa-Francorchamps track. But it's absolutely, you really can listen to every word of this, that he loves this track.
Yeah.
We're once again back in the WRT team space. We're going to take a look on the result of the qualifying. Devin Browner was fastest with 1:51.368. Alan Terzic in second with a 51.5. Martin Stefanko with a 51.6. Ultra Gertha from England with a 51.7. So there we're going to leave the 51. Gordon Mudge from Scotland, 51.0. Second fastest, fifth fastest, Beitsgefisser, behind him, 52. Dries van Toor from Belgium, the Belgian driver on the Belgian track, only on 7th position. Oscar Kristensen, the fastest Dane, followed by the two fastest Swiss guys, Thomas Schmidt on the 9th position with a 52.1, and only 5 thousandths of a second slower, Miklas Born, also from Switzerland.
Yeah, great to have Nianco Esports, both drivers in the top 10. Again, that's really cool.
Yeah.
But the host team of today is WRT. And we heard him before, Chris Overend is the only guy in the field who's a disabled racing driver. And yeah, let's hear about him, what he's doing in World EX and what he's doing beside World EX.
When I saw what the championship was about and what it represented, if I had the chance to do it, I was going to take it, and I was very fortunate to get introduced to Frederick from WRT, and the rest, they say, is history. We got an invitation to go to Hockenheim by Frederick, which was a really cool thing for them to do. We went and said hello to the team, took into their workshop, into the garage, and it was incredible seeing such a big team, seeing the level of organisation, the level of professionalism that's on display there. It was eye-opening, really. So my ambitions in World X is to get to a final. To be honest, my ambitions is to get to a semi-final. I want to represent disabled racing drivers, especially in the esports community. My ultimate ambition is to race at the 24-hour Le Mans. That is 100% what I want to do. It means a lot to me to do that. It's the most important race in the world, in my opinion. So Team Brit is a race team made up of disabled people. So everyone's got disabilities of some kind. We've all got different disabilities. Team Brit's goal is to become the first all-disabled team to compete in the 24-hour Le Mans, which is something I believe that we're going to do. My role in Team Brit is a driver. I'm still technically a rookie driver, even though I've driven the 118 once last season in Donington in 2021. I spent the whole season this year driving the BMW M240 in the Brit Car Trophy, and then 3 weeks ago I had my first taste of GT4 racing in the Aston Martin in the British Endurance Championship, which is something that I'm hoping to compete in next year to do the whole season.
Just listen to him and hearing that they want to have the chance to drive the Le Mans race in the future with an all disabled team would be absolutely
So cool.
Amazing to see these guys.
Such
I know
a good story to tell.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Marketing wise, it would be brilliant. It would be heaven on earth, something like that. It's absolutely brilliant. So it's a really, really nice guy. I'm really looking forward. Probably you're going to meet him somewhere else on the racetrack, on a real racetrack. But before that, I guess we're going to continue with two other guys. In this world,
we have two other guys in the host team.
Yes,
you're right, Martin.
Absolutely. I think from my side, I would love to hear the voice of the World EX, Mr. Dave Richardson.
And we want to see Mike
and
Rockenfeller, our co-founder. Can you hear us?
You see what it is, Mike? They want to hear from me. They don't ever want to see me. How fair is that? Thanks, Louise.
I was
love
just
you
realizing. I was just realizing that.
Dave, it was him. It was her, Dave. It was her. It wasn't me.
Martin, you're my favourite. It's Louisa that's got the right. I've got the right Reagan I'm with now.
Hey, Dave.
Good evening, Mike. Lovely to see you. Martin, Louisa, lovely to see you as well. Here we go. Spa-Francorchamps. That is always something special, Mr. Rockenfeller.
It definitely is, and not too long ago, you and I met there in person. You were obviously doing the DTM commentary or some support series, and I was there for the German TV. So we talked a little bit when you smoked a cigarette, and I was just running into you. But it's always a pleasure. I really love it, and obviously as a driver, Spa is one of the most challenging tracks. Every driver likes it. There's almost no corner which is maybe the last chicane, which nobody really likes. That's the only bit. The rest is so nice to drive because you get a good rhythm. Obviously, Eau Rouge is a feeling you get in your stomach nowhere else in the world in a race car. So I think it's great, and I'm very much looking forward to good racing here in the World EX Championship tonight, because we have seen that before. Qualifying already, for me, it was fantastic to watch the cars, getting pushed to the limit by the drivers. Great job, by all of them, because it's really a beast to drive, and I think they did a fantastic job. And also, I have to say, it's always hard to mention all the drivers, but for me also, Beitske was super impressive, and she is all the time, and Dries, after just winning a championship in the real world, coming here and performing on that level, I think that's pretty outstanding.
Yeah, we've got a wonderful lineup of drivers for tonight, and it's going to be very, very good, as you say. Winding its way through the Ardennes region of Belgium, Spa is always something very, very special. Let's take a look at the race format now then, and this is how everyone is going to compete, as you say. Hopefully you enjoyed qualifying just as much as Mike and I did, and it was good to see some of the drivers and how they were performing here. And if I'm honest with you, some of the drivers that I expected to do really well, perhaps not doing as well as I anticipated. But then, as you said earlier on, Mike, this is a beast to get right, particularly here. A 20-minute qualifying determines the starting grid for the two quarter-finals, one for the pro racing drivers, one for the esports racers. The best 5 drivers from each group proceed to the semi-final before the final 2-lap head-to-head shootout for the best pro racing driver and the best esports racer. All cars reaching at least one final will qualify for the super final at the Nürburgring Nordschleife on December the 13th. And here we go then, going to get straight into it with quarter-final number 1 to come. And look at this lineup of fantastic talent. Wiltra Gerther and Gordon Mutsch, and then Beitske Wieser and Dries Van Tor. Niklas Born and Lasse Sorensen, Nicholas Hillebrand, Rafael Labato, Henry Drury and Chris Overend. What an inspiring story that Chris told us just a few moments ago. Of course, we wish all the drivers well in terms of the quarter-final 1, which we are about to see here at Spa-Francorchamps. 7.0 kilometers, 19 turns, 10 of them left, 9 of them are right-handers, and all those famous names that we have come to know and love. And I've not had the same benefit as you, Mike. I've never been up Eau Rouge on anything other than my bicycle. When you stand at the bottom of Eau Rouge, it's only then that you realize what a climb it is into Raidillon.
Very true. I tell you, in a race car with a lot of horsepower, it's not the same. So when you are in the car, 500 plus horsepower, it's quite easy to go up the hill. But you're right, in a bike or even walking, it's very impressive. And the first time you do it, each year you arrive there as a driver, the very first time, it's a very special feeling, almost like in a roller coaster, when your stomach is like upside down. But then second lap, you're getting used to it, and it's kind of normal.
There was a big hit. I was hoping there that Mike would say, I'll take you round there, Dave. I'll sort that for you. It didn't happen. There we are. Williams Esports, one of the teams, of course, that compete in the World EX Championship. 2 drivers from Williams Esports, Wiltra Gerther, and also driving for Williams Esports tonight, Martin Stefanko. Warm welcome back to Martin Stefanko. But Wiltra Gerther, as you can see, in final stages of preparation and just fanning and cooling his face just a little bit before we're about to go. go for quarter-final number 1. You've seen the race format and exactly how it works. Every driver's aim, every team's aim, of course, to be on the grid for the fantastic Nordschleifer event that comes up at the end of the year. There's Vosse then. A very, very talented young driver. And Vosse then driving for the BS Plus competition team, taking on some fluids ahead of quarterfinal number 1 to come. And we wish good luck to Vosse. We wish good luck to all the drivers that will be taking part. And we are bang on time with quarterfinal number 1. And well, the lap times for my money were very, very impressive during qualifying. Going to be different, of course, in the race, which we are about 25 seconds away from quarterfinal getting underway. Tregertha, Gordon Mudge from Scotland. Vosse, Dries van Tor, local driver. Then it's Miklas Born, Lasse Sorensen, and Rafael Labato. And we are now only 10 seconds away. The circuit Spa-Francorchamps is about to be the place that the RCCO World EX Championship continues. Hold on to your hats and any other loose clothing. We're about to go racing. So all the cars will head off into turn number 1, which is something of a downhill funnel, if I can be so bold. La Source, that's where we are right now. If every driver gets through here unscathed, as indeed they do, it's credit to their driving discipline. As the cars head down now, and for the first time of asking then, take as much curb as you dare. You can see the sparks flying off the underside of the car, and some running just a little bit wide as the cars begin to settle down now, but right up, ready on now, heading into the first chicane, of course, and heavy braking. And you can see just trying to control the power there, Gordon Mudge, the ACER VERO R8G car of Gordon Mudge that we are on board with now. And that looks to me like Lasse Sorensen already making some progress here. And, well, credit to everyone through La Source in the first series of turns, Mike. They're doing a good job here.
Yeah, I think they really did. I think the overlay, there's a little technical issue. We saw that. There were too many names. Oh, there we see a spin. I think it's Hillebrand. Yeah, but you're right. I mean, quali is one thing. Racing is a total different story. And we know Lasse is very, very strong in this championship. You know, he was sick, so he missed the last round. But yeah, he's doing great right now. Beitske is holding on, P3. And I think for me, Dries, he did awesome. I mean, I don't know if you saw it, but he was on the outside on the Hangar straight. He was really, really good. His exit of Eau Rouge in the first lap, and he's on a mission. I mean, he really is in a good spot right now. We know we know that he's so aggressive all the time, and we can see it here. I think he just needs to stay calm. You know, wait for his chance. As we saw Lasse in the background, almost making the move on Beitske. I think here we see some more action right now.
Yeah, Dries van Tor, of course, got a point to prove, being the local driver. Just taking a look at the inside there around La Source. If he gets a really good exit here, this is where he'll begin to line up a move, potentially going through turns 2, 3, and 4. Of course, Eau Rouge, there you can see both of the cars taking as much curb as they really dare. Whoa, Dries van Tor getting also sideways. Lasse Sorensen is in the wall.
Crash.
So Dries van Tor trying just a little bit too hard. He managed to save it. Unfortunately, Lasse Sorensen, he got collected by the Armco, Mike.
Yes, there was a massive incident. Luckily, it's only, you know, it's not real world racing right now. If you see that accident, I think maybe he had a small touch with Beitske. And here we see Dries, you know, who's running the out car of WRT. I think a great livery, great job by the team. Looks fantastic, and he's doing a good job, like we said. But he was close to lose the car in Eau Rouge on his own, and that shows how difficult it is to drive. You know, lap by lap, corner by corner. But I didn't really see what happened to Lasse, but obviously that's a shame for him.
Of course. But Dries van Tor, as you say, he is an aggressive driver. There's Lasse. and with significant damage to his car. You can see him talking there. So Lasse Sorensen, that's a great shame. Dries Vanthoor, I just wonder whether that will have, I mean, you're a racing driver, a professional racing driver, and as Mike has said, having just taken honours, Dries is going to go for it and go for it and go for it, and he's never going to be put off by a small error of judgment. And as you can see, he's certainly not going to be put off. Heading in towards the chicane now, Dries Vanthoor is lining up, Will Tregurtha ahead, and Dries Vanthoor is going to have another go. There's no question about that. It's just a question of where he's going to try and do it here. Not quite close enough, in my opinion, to have a go into La Source, but we will see. King of the late breakers, Dries Vanthoor turns in now. Will Tregurtha very neat and tidy through that turn. And now Dries Vanthoor is here that he begins to build the speed. Yeah, and of course, what he's aiming to do, Radeon, I would suggest.
Exactly, that's where he runs wide. You see, he almost loses the car again. So that's the place he needs to focus. You know, he did now 2 laps in a row, the same mistake. I mean, it's a 5-lap race. So he really, really needs to get his act together there. I think he has a great chance once he doesn't do a mistake. Oh, there we see a overtaking against Bajtski Visa.
That big battle nice. That's going on in third.
Yes. I think
that's right on board with Bajtski now in BS Plus Competitions car. You were mentioning there, and I want to big up the fact that the art car is absolutely beautiful. When you've got the blank canvas of one of these fantastic cars from the RCCO World EX Championship, what you can do with that is a work of art, and that's precisely what they have done with that car of Dries Vanthoor. Now he just needs to get it to perform and get him to perform so that he can try and wrestle away that P1 place. So Gordon Much from Scotland then running in P3. This is Bajtski Visa, and here is Dries Vanthoor. You can see the focus, the concentration, and Dries, well, having made perhaps the same mistake on 2 occasions, surely he won't do it again. You can see he's beginning to encroach now on the race leader, and this is what he needs to do, quietly, like a viper. You can see that he's beginning to reel in his prey, but of course it's where you make the strike and whether you can make it happen.
Exactly, and the laps before, he was a bit closer, just here before the last chicane. So now his gap is a bit bigger. He was around 3.5 tenths before. Now it's 7 tenths. But let's see. I mean, again, like you said, he just, it's where it's important. Now we need to see how he can do it. And now, anyway, it's not only a fight for P1. Now it's all 4 cars are together, and it's still a while to go in this race. It's not over yet. So let's see what happens. I think Dries needs to focus to the front, but also to the rear. I'm sure he's watching his mirror now as Gordon Much is getting closer and closer.
Absolutely. It's one of those invidious positions to be in when you're hunting, but being hunted at the same time. So, yes, of course, Dries wants to attack Will Tregurtha, but he's also got to defend from the hard-charging Gordon Much, who is running in P3 at the moment. We see him live here. And there is Gordon Much. Just look how much concentration and how much physical effort is going into his sim, as well as he propels this car around this wonderful 7-kilometer Spa-Francorchamps circuit. It's something of a roller coaster, and there you can see it from being on board with him as he holds onto that car and chases down Dries Vanthoor. For my money, Dries Vanthoor through Eau Rouge and then Radeon was much smoother last time, but of course he wasn't as close to Will Tregurtha, so there was no hope of him being able to make a move going into Les Combes in the chicane there. So we will see if he tries to get a bit closer this time. And I think Mike is absolutely right. And I wonder whether his pace on that last lap was just impacted and affected a little bit, because he glanced in the rearview mirror and thought, oh, hang on a minute. Gordon Much is getting closer and closer and closer here, but Bajtski Visa is certainly not out of this either yet. Bear in mind, top 5 going through, so they would be Tregurtha, Vanthoor, Much, Visa and Lobato if everything stayed the way it is right now. So you can see Dries Vanthoor doing exactly as I thought in terms of trying to get a bit closer now. Through the bus stop chicane, first right, then left. Now, this is where he needs to really focus and concentrate on getting as close to Will Tregurtha as he possibly can, and then make it super smooth as he runs through turns 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we keep an eye here. Arms getting locked up there as you put the steering angle on and rotate the car through turn number 1. Here is Dries Vanthoor. Let's follow him now. Is he going to get close enough to be able to get the draft off the back of the car in front? Well, he's altogether smoother. He does run wide again, Mike. It was like the commentator's curse then, and all of a sudden he is in the clutches now of Gordy Much, I believe, Mike.
Yes, he is. Every lap almost, it was the same line he took. Now he's defending. just stayed on the inside for the braking. I mean, obviously, now he gets a little off tap here by Gordon Mutch. Yeah, I mean, the tires are dropping, that's for sure. But that definitely was the deciding point there for him. So now he needs to defend. Now he needs to watch his mirror, and he really needs to stay clean for the rest of the lap. I think Gordon is probably hoping for, I would say, going towards Blanchiment. If he's close enough, maybe he can try or for the last chicane. Let's see. But obviously, they both know they are in a good spot. They need to finish and make it to the next round.
Absolutely right. It is, sense sometimes over the aggression. And as you say, Dries Vanthoor now is very much focused on defending rather than trying to attack Tregurtha ahead, because that would be utterly futile. They will go through, and they're better off being safe where they are. It's Tregurtha from Vanthoor, Mutch, then it's Wiese and Lobato. Hillebrand, Drury, Sorensen and Miklas Born. And of course the top 5 are going through, so heading up towards the final chicane now. Gordon Mutch, well, I was going to say discretion will play the better part of valor, but I'm not sure here. He was going to have a go right until the very end. And here comes Will Tregurtha to cross the line, and then it is Dries Vanthoor and Gordon Mutch as well. And well, you can see the shaking of the head there from Gordy Mutch and Dries Vanthoor. And just looking at the graphics on the left-hand side of my screen, I hope I haven't missed something there, because it's saying Gordon
it's
Mutch
hard.
basically.
It's quite hard to, especially a Rouge. You should go straight every time. Well, at least me.
I'm pretty sure that is a mistake, as we saw from the beginning. There was
my tires were cooked already after turn 1.
Yeah, mine too. After I went straight 2 times in a Rouge.
Yeah, I had to dodge the car in front of me because they braked a bit earlier than I expected.
Me.
I mean, not in front of you, me, because you were one of the few behind me, Henry.
Into the source?
Yeah.
Not a source. Into a Rouge?
No. Au Rouge, you were ahead of me because I had to avoid in La Source. So I went straight to the back, braked on the grass, and then I had to basically go full throttle and full counter steer. So I would, not completely spin off, and then the tires were already cooked, so nothing.
Well, as always, it's really good to hear the drivers then as they're on their slowing down lap and just discussing the experience.
Why is everyone still racing?
Because I haven't finished.
Why is everyone still racing? We briefly saw the result just for a moment there. And here is Gordon Mutch. We could see here is confirmation of the result of quarterfinal 1.
I love how I can never tell what this car's going to do in dirty air. Like understeer, oversteer, no idea.
I think we shouldn't watch the result. I think there's an issue still.
Yeah, I think there's something wrong with the transponders there, isn't there? Because as far as I was aware, I believe it's Will Tregurtha that's taken the win. Thanks for saving my life there, Mike, because I thought I'd missed a huge overtake.
Well, then we both missed it, that's for sure.
Well, hands up, I don't get everything right.
But I think there was a technical issue in the background, which, can happen like in real life sometimes.
Of course.
So let's forget about that. I'm sure the team in the background is solving it. And we have seen the race. We have seen the finish. So, yeah, congrats. I think he did a great job, Will. He was, first time. You can't do any better than what he did.
And for my money, Mike, congratulations and credit to all the drivers, because where I expected there to, if I'm honest with you, be a little bit of carnage going through La Source, particularly first time of asking, there wasn't really, really good driving and respectful driving from all the drivers.
Yes.
So Martin and Louisa, of course, are presenters of the RCCO World EX Championship. Let's rejoin them now. Martin first, because he's the best.
How much do I have to pay for that? No, Dave, just one thing. It was just the first quarterfinal, and I'm soaked now. What can we do with the second quarterfinal? What can we do with the semifinal? What can we expect for the final? It's unbelievable, and I bat for Dries van Tor. So he was. I was absolutely lucky that he always passed through the Eau Rouge.
Yeah, a lucky round for you, Martin. Let's have a look on quarterfinal 2 then, because my bet is an e-sportler. But before we go there, let's have a look on the other driver of WRT who's hosting today's event. He won the last 2 races. His car is leading the championship. He is the current pole sitter. Here is Devin Browner.
Hi, I'm Devin Browner, sim racer and programmer from Germany, and I race for WRT in the World EX. I'm in the unique position that I actually work for Studio 397, making me one of the very few esport drivers that actually work on sim software. I started modding at some point, I enjoyed that a lot, and decided, hey, why not try programming as well? One thing led to another, and I ended up studying game engineering. I started out working on audio, moved on to optimization, and then expanded from there. Programming isn't the only thing I do, obviously, but my official job title is software engineer. I started playing the F1 games from the 90s, various ones of them. Back then there was no exclusive license. Then eventually, shortly after, I started karting for the first time, and then just joined a kart club, and I never stopped. It's one of the very few esports series that are actually fun to drive, so you don't have a week-long grind fest for setups, followed by a turn 1 crash fest, but you actually get together as drivers and you enjoy driving and you have a laugh together. You have to be able to adapt, simply put, sometimes from one corner to the next. The car has a lot of tools that you can use to actually make it do what you want it to do, but you actually have to decide at that moment which tool is the best and the fastest for the job, and in the long term which one is best on the tires as well. WRT takes care of everything, so I have to focus on the one thing that really matters, which is the driving. I can't praise the team enough, honestly. I think I speak for Chris and myself when I say they make us feel very welcome, especially when we attend races. And Fred always finds a minute or 2, maybe even 10, to have a chat with us, even though we're certainly not the only guests of the team. Chris is actually doing incredible, to be honest. So I had the pleasure of using his hand controls a couple of weeks ago at Hockenheim. The very steering wheel he uses to race in this series. And despite using ABS and traction control in that case, I couldn't actually go faster than him. I couldn't beat him. Couldn't extract more pace out of the car than what the controls allowed me to do. And as we see in the series, he's still competitive, he still races people, and he's not slow. Considering that this car requires a ton of precision on both throttle and brake, I think he's doing absolutely insane work, and his real-life results show that. I'm a huge advocate for green energy and efficiency. It's a little thing that adds up sometimes. So the daily commute to work, for instance, if you cut that out entirely and everyone does it, that's a lot of energy we save. Or even if you just make that like 50% more efficient, that's the same as if half the people would stop driving to work every day. That's a lot of energy that you can just save. The same goes for every other kind of energy. And at the end of the day, if we can actually get on top of that, I think we can live in a better place.
What a thoroughly articulate young man, Devin Browner. Here is confirmation of the result from quarterfinal 1. Will Tregertha then taking the win from Dries van Tor and Gori Much. Then it's Bijski Visse and Rafael Labato. Regrettably, Nicholas Hillebrand, Henry Drury, Lasse Sorensen and Miklas Born unable to make the cut. So that's the result from quarterfinal 1, with quarterfinal 2 on its way. And it was great to hear from Devin Browner. And so many good things that he said in that. And here's the grid for quarterfinal 2. Then with Devin Browner going from P1, Alan Terzic alongside. He's going to be a danger man. Martin Stefanko, welcome back to Martin Stefanko. He goes from P3 with Oscar Kristensen from P4. And we're about to get underway. I've got 20 seconds before I've got to finish yapping. And here we can see as we go on board with some of our drivers who are about to do battle, including Devin Browner, the man that we just heard from. So 5 seconds away now from the klaxons and quarterfinal 2 getting underway. Once again, I invite you to hold on to everything. Drag race into turn 1. Who's it going to be? Will it be Devin Browner or Alan Terzic? Well, a good start from Devin Browner then. He certainly nailed that perfectly. But, a little love tap there from Alan Terzic. Martin Stefanko's looking lively as well. So too is Oscar Kristensen as well. And Schmidt and Lamenek and McDuff and Lee and Mikael Niemes. Good to see Mikael Niemes in one of these cars as they
Jesus Christ.
run wide.
Even the leading car goes up.
Right, we heard there live from the driver's radios. Overtake going on now. Potentially 3 abreast going into the first chicane.
3 wide.
Whoa. Who is going to come out of this in P1? Well, from all of that, Devin Browner just keeping his cool, but now he's going to have to really defend hard. Alan Terzic means business here. He's got the inside line, but a little bit of skiddiness from the front of the car means that Devin Browner retains it and holds on for the moment. They roll downhill on this roller coaster now. Spa-Francorchamps producing some awesome racing across the first few turns. It is Browner from Terzic from Stefanko, then it is Kristensen. And now, for the first time of asking, Mike Rockefeller, I think Browner can just breathe a small sigh of relief.
Yes, and Stefanko, who is back, we know him from last year, driving for Williams here. Unbelievable. I mean, they went 3 wide on the straight, braking for the right-left combination. That was super tight and important, obviously, for Devin. But like you said, he can breathe a little, but it's there's still a few cars in his mirror, and as we know, Alan Terzic, he won't give up. Stefanko is still there. Oscar Kristensen, great job. I mean, look at the top 6, all very, very close together.
Indeed so, and great to have those onboard shots with the drivers working so hard in their sims then. Source for the second time of asking then on this 5-lap quarterfinal. Devin Browner looking as cool and as a cucumber, and but he is under threat from Alan Terzic, who gets a very, very good exit here. And Terzic will be able to carry some speed. Little bit of a sideways moment I felt there for Devin Browner. Yes. He holds on to the cars. None of the cars run as wide. A little bit of temperature into the tyres now. And this is where Terzic will reel and reel and reel like. Devin Browner is on the end of his fishing line. He's got to the outside. That becomes the inside for the turn, but you've got to be absolutely committed to this. That is, if it comes off, a textbook attempt, but he hasn't made it yet. Brilliant overtaking, Mike.
Wow.
Absolutely awesome.
Wow. That is absolutely awesome. I tell you how difficult that is to not touch each other, to don't spin somebody out, to stay on the track. Awesome. That was so nice. And you could see the difference. Terzic, how he did now 2 times Eau Rouge. If we remember, the race before, where Fantor was always struggling, he just kept the tight line. He took the momentum. It was really nice to watch, and I could see it coming, but he really made it difficult. Devin Browner made it so difficult for Alan Terzic, and I'm sure again now, he has still to watch his mirror, but also he can focus now again on catching it.
What for me made that move so good was the fact that it was very respectful. Yes, it was fraught and it was tight, but racing room was left by both the drivers, healthy respect between all of them, and that was a brilliant overtake. Now Devin Browner, for my money, is under some pressure from Stefanko and Oscar Kristensen having a go as well. This is a brilliant quarterfinal. And there we go on board, and we can see what it's like from a driver's eye perspective just for a moment. Bear in mind, top 5 going through once again. And at the moment, it's Thomas Schmidt that's running in P5. On board with the number 9 car of Oscar Kristensen then. Now, he has got quite close to Martin Stefanko now, and the run down here where you carry so much speed. And let's see what he can do if he gets a good exit and a good run. And you can see just behind Thomas Schmidt running really, really wide. Here comes Devin Browner, though. He's going to have another go at Alan Terzic and try and do a duplicate copy of what Terzic did earlier on. Again, they're absolutely side by side. Who is going to come out of this in front? I think it is going to be Alan. No, it's going to be Devin Browner. Mike, it was like a photocopy of the previous move. He just did it back to Alan Terzic. Again, pretty fair and clean between the two of them. Devin Browner puts himself back ahead of Alan Terzic, and Martin Stefanko, in my opinion, could be the clever one here, Mike, because he will let these two continue to fight and be there ready to pounce and pick up the pieces.
100% right. I mean, wow. That is awesome. And now, what happened? I think maybe actually Devin gave back the spot because he was a bit off track. They had a little... I mean, Terzic touched him. He went off track. I think super fair by Devin. What a race. What a race. I mean, look, 4 cars fighting for P1. That is awesome.
This is exactly what we want, isn't it, from the RCCO World EX Championship? It just delivers in bucketfuls. We are loving this. Here comes Browner again. He's going to have another go. As you say, respectful between them all, and the place was given back, and now Terzic is under real pressure into the bus stop chicane here. Can he scrub off the speed? And Terzic tries to go around the outside. There's another little tap between the two of them. Now Devin Browner needs to close the door, but Terzic is in there. So as they head into La Source this time around, absolutely side by side. This is the fight for P1. Terzic and Browner absolutely stay side by side, and Browner just gets ahead. Wow, through La Source. I think that move was perfectly fair. Let's see if he's able to keep that. You can see Terzic almost shortcutting there. And now, of course, he'll get the benefit from the slipstream. And Terzic tries to come sailing past Devin Browner, who tries to stick his elbows out and make the car quite wide. Keep your eyes on Martin Stefanko. He could be the big winner here.
Yes, but Terzic really cut the chicane now. I mean, he definitely needs to slow down, which he does, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he does. Wow, that was really, really, really good racing.
I had a brain freeze there.
We're on lap 4 of 5. I want this to go on for 20 laps. There's Alan Terzic then. Customary chewing gum and just keeping an eye on everything. He's got a margin of about 3/10 at the moment, but honestly, it's a four-way fight for P1 because Devin Browner is certainly not giving up on this. Nor is Martin Stefanko, and nor is Oscar Kristensen. In my opinion, it's the best we've seen of Oscar Kristensen so far. He's looking really, really lively here. So all three of them ahead of Oscar. They are, and let's ride on board with Oscar Kristensen now, see what it's like from a driver's eye perspective, following the car of Martin Stefanko, who in turn is virtually welded to the back of Devin Browner. Alan Terzic is just beginning to stretch his legs a little bit here. So Devin Browner, of course, he's having to focus on concentrating from the two hard chargers right behind him. That's Martin Stefanko and Oscar Kristensen. Through the bus stop chicane they come then, and Alan Terzic has got, as they cross the timing line, around about 8/10 margin, which is the biggest it's been, that's for sure. And I think that's because Devin Browner is focusing on his mirrors and thinking about where Martin Stefanko and Oscar Kristensen are. Here they go then, the big run down here. That concrete wall looks oh so unforgiving on the right-hand side. And look how much curb these drivers are prepared to take and propel so much speed in these wonderful cars. Whoa, that was a big save from Oscar Kristensen, who ran very wide then, Mike.
Yeah, he ran very wide, but you could see that, you know, he's losing time by that. He didn't gain anything. And Devin, it's the last lap. He had quite a gap. I think he did a good job, you know, by taking all the momentum. He catched Alan a little bit there, but like you said, I mean, Stefanko is sitting there. Kristensen now, you know, basically lost a little bit. I think for him it's going to be hard to make it back until the end of the lap. But for me, P2, it's still uncertain. For me, one of the best races I've seen this year. Unbelievable.
I am with you 100%. It's been absolutely so exciting and entertaining from the off. So Terzic leading Browner from Stefanko, then it's Oscar Kristensen and Thomas Schmidt running in P5. Brilliant stuff. We ride on board with Martin Stefanko then as he chases down the P2 and P3 drivers, and on this fifth lap of 5 they have stretched and spaced themselves out a little bit here. But that's not to say it's all over yet, because we've got a heavy braking section coming into that chicane. Still, things can happen.
But you know what I really, really love about it? When we started this project, you know, to have this discipline and this close racing without, you know, with being fair all the time. Of course, we see crashes and it's normal. It's in real life. It happens. People make mistakes. But it's so cool to see these guys having fun and race wheel to wheel.
Brilliant racing. Absolutely brilliant. And I take my hats off.
I mean, Alan, you kind of gained the position by going off track, but okay.
Yeah. What do you mean?
That was not exactly...
Like when you went off.
You did exactly what I was supposed to give you the position back for, except you didn't.
No, I lifted.
What do you
I
mean?
was in front and I went off.
No, but you went from behind him to passing him by going off, you know? But it's...
No, I was in front.
I mean, I don't care, but...
I was in front when I went off. I gave the time back afterwards.
So guys, for me as race director, it's really tough. The lap before, it was like, yes, okay, it was moving under braking, I don't know, or yes, maybe, but there were you on the same level. And the next lap, Alan was in front, he really was in front, but he gained time in a rouge by cutting. This is why I called the warning. And just because of this cutting, he was in front of Devin. Normally, I wanted to change the position back, but I don't want to destroy the races by always changing all the positions.
Very interesting for us to hear from the race director.
Difficult, I think. The race director, you know, I honestly, I'm a little bit there. I love Alan a lot, but for me, it was not a very clean one because he took a lot of. He cut, like you said, Dave. He cut the rouge and basically had momentum on the straight after, and that's why for me he gained the position. So normally he should have switched back, like the race director said, but they didn't.
Well, there we have it. We've heard from the race director. Everything is transparent and very visible. And you heard direct from the race director. So here's confirmation of the result of quarterfinal 2. Alan Terzic does take the win from Devin Browner, from Martin Stefanko, Oscar Kristensen, and Thomas Schmidt. And unfortunately, that means we lose Lee, Nimas, Lemanek, and Rory McDuff as well. For all the rights and wrongs, and the race director has a hugely difficult job to do. It was, for me, a thoroughly entertaining quarter-final. Absolutely brilliant stuff. Hopefully, we can go back to Martin and Louisa now, because Mike and I need a milkshake to cool our throats after that one.
Like, it doesn't have that big chance to cool his throat because we're going to talk a tiny little bit about the Racing for the Climate, the idea about these race season and these race idea here, which you did as a co-founder together with Thomas Vogt. What is for you personally, not only as the fact of as a co-founder, but on the other hand, as a human being, what is the personal view of Racing for the Climate?
Well, obviously, I'm not very neutral as one of the founders. So I would say I obviously I look through my glasses, and that is a founder and a racing driver. And as a hobby, I'm doing some esport, let's say myself, some racing. I have to say the second season I really enjoy. I think we learned a lot. We have great teams on board. We have great drivers, which we want to showcase more and more, both of them, the teams and the drivers. And obviously, Racing for the Climate, you know, there's a purpose. And I think there's a great chance for the future to, you know, reach a big audience and tell, you know, well, entertain the people, first of all. I think that's the most important in any sport. So it is in our championship. But, you know, on the other hand, also bring on a message and, you know, try to educate the people or try to tell them what's possible in the future, what's happening right now. You know, not only electric cars, all around. It's not only the cars where we need to improve on our planet. It's obviously everything. And that's why I love it. And there are so many opportunities. And, you know, we are trying with it's not only me and Thomas, it's obviously you guys, it's everybody involved, the teams, the drivers, everybody in the background. And I think there's a big potential for us to grow more and more. And the most important is, yeah, that we do step by step. And I think we already did quite a journey together. And I can't wait, you know, where we will be in another year of time.
Drive fast, act faster. It's the brilliant word for that, I would say. Would you say that the engineers who are planning the next step of e-motorsport in real and on esport racing here at the on the computer and something like that, is that the main thing to take a look on? these engineers who are planning to do everything for a real normal life with electric cars?
Well, I think at the end of the day, racing has always been, or not always, obviously. Like I said, it's two things. It's one, to entertain people, but there's also a technical background in real racing, and sim racing in a way. Now real racing, sim racing is really combined. Me as a driver, I'm used to drive simulators quite a lot, to develop the car, and that's why it's somehow more together, more connected nowadays. And you learn from the sim world, which you can integrate in the real world. And in the real world, obviously, we are also in a transition. Motorsport is changing. We have hybrid cars. We have more electric cars racing in the future. So I think we are obviously racing only virtual. So our engineering, let's say, background is not that important like in the real world. But of course, we try to be as realistic as we can with our cars, and also following the technology, which will be the future technology. Is it electric? Is it going to be hydrogen? We will see. But we obviously decided for electric right now, and I think we built a very nice car, which most of the drivers enjoy.
As you did it or you're still doing it in the real world, racing with combustion cars. On the other hand, it's same with me. I'm also working together with guys in the normal real racing. And all the time when I'm coming into this race here, at these races, at these race series here, I'm always absolutely amazed. I'm really looking forward to the future, of course. And I really have to say thank you for being part of this. Absolutely. But we're going to continue now with the semi-final. Or, yes.
Yes, we want to see more racing.
That was wrong.
It's just there to trick Mike and me. That's the only reason it's there. It is going to be a semi-final, and just for the moment, we've lost Mike Rockenfeller. Alan Terzic, Gordon Much, Martin Stefanko, Alan Terzic, Devin Browner, and there we can see, what have we got? 14 seconds before the start of this. So it's Will Tregurtha, Alan Terzic, then Devin Browner, Gordon Much, Martin Stefanko, Beitske Visser, Oscar Kristensen, Rafael Lobato, and Thomas Schmidt. Stand by. We are about to get this 4-lap semi-final underway. We have seen just how lively Alan Terzic is, and Will Tregurtha, and of course Dries Vanthoor and Devin Browner both have points to prove us. Whoa! And that was a very, very sideways moment for Alan Terzic, but to the inside of Will Tregurtha now, it's going to be the fight of the bravest, I would suggest. Or as they take just a and that was a brilliant, brilliant move there, to be fair, to close the door. But keep your eyes on Dries Vanthoor here. Now, Dries Vanthoor has got the real draft and the real rub here. Dries Vanthoor going for it on the outside here. Whoa! And there was a big move from Alan Terzic. Avoiding action had to be taken by Dries Vanthoor. Devin Browner trying to come through on the inside as well. It is all very much nip and tuck in the very early stages of this semi-final. But what a race so far, as once again they go 3 abreast. Absolutely remarkable. And through it all, guess what? It's Alan Terzic from Will Tregurtha. Then it's Dries Vanthoor, Gordon Much, and Devin Browner now P5. Martin Stefanko P6. Don't expect it to stay that way, though, because there's a lot of action to come in the 3.5 laps that remain. My goodness me, Mike, how did someone not end up in the Armco? But credit to them, they didn't.
They didn't, but you can see the tension, or the, how do you say, it's spiced up a bit. Obviously, the first 2 make it. So, yeah, we can see that pressure is on and the fun is over, let's say. It was really tough. Terzic, has the lead, but it's far from over. So let's see what happens here on lap 2.
He is a hard racer, there's no question there, but Will Tregurtha is coming after him. So into the bus stop chicane they come then. You can see King of the Late Breakers, Will Tregurtha, trying to take some of that time out of Alan Terzic. He will line him up for a go after turn number 1, but don't rule Dries Van Tor out of this either at the moment, because Dries Van Tor knows it's only the top 2 that are going to go through, and therefore he wants to be part of that in that beautiful, beautiful looking car. Gordon Much from Scotland, of course, running in P4 at the moment, but it is Terzic P1, Will Tregurtha is P2. P2, I think, is probably more under threat than P1 at the moment, but what the heck do I know, as they make the run now onto Radion and heading up towards that first chicane, which was the scene of so much action on the opening lap. And now you can see Tregurtha just gets his nose in front of Alan Terzic, but Terzic is able to carry the speed through into the chicane. Keep your eyes on Dries Van Tor as we go into the roller coaster section running downhill. Can Dries Van Tor do anything there? You've got to be big, bold and brave to go around the outside, but don't put that away from anyone, because they will have a go if they can. You can see that Dries Van Tor tried to go on the inside of Will Tregurtha. That really didn't pay off, but as Mike said, that's where the tension is. They know that the top 2 are going through and they want to be part of that. And now Dries Van Tor is having to defend from Devin Browner, because all of a sudden this P3 is under threat. There is Dries Van Tor. Now, of course, Devin Browner, if he's going to get by Dries Van Tor, it's going to be so that he can get on the back of Will Tregurtha and Alan Terzic. But with such a short dash for cash, as it were, with just 4 laps, you've got to get about it and do it very, very early on. For my money, it looks like Terzic has got it sewn up at the moment with about a half a second's margin. But Dries Van Tor and Will Tregurtha running in P2 and P3 at the moment are certainly not done with this yet. So you can see the sparks flying from these fantastic cars.
I mean, look at it. Like, the top 8 cars are in 3 seconds. That is insane. So it's far from over, like we said, and we have seen now every race that after Eau Rouge is where the battle is. So let's see if you know, Terzic can defend his lead this lap again. I think for me, Dries looks very strong. He just needs to be patient, and yeah, he's much better now for me in Eau Rouge compared to his first quarterfinal. Looks much nicer. And I think this battle here, ooh, on the grass.
Oh, my goodness me. Will Tregurtha, Alan Terzic. There is barely a centimetre between them as Dries Van Tor and Devin Browner really having a go here, as well as Gordon Much as well. Mike, you're absolutely right. This is far from over yet. The fat lady ain't going to be singing. Oh, I think that was Dries Van Tor, wasn't it, that's gone around?
Yeah, but it wasn't his mistake. It was somebody took him out. I think it was Tregurtha who made a mistake. Unfortunately, we don't see the replay, I guess, but that was a shame. And now Gordon Much is in P2.
I know. So it's Terzic, Much and Browner then. And as you said, nothing is guaranteed yet. It's far from over. And we are on lap 3 of 4 here. Let's ride on board now with the car of Devin Browner. So Devin Browner is the first of the losers, if you will. He wants to get by Gordon Much. It's Gordon Much running in P2 at the moment, and he's beginning to put the chase on Alan Terzic. So now that all the action and all the skirmishes that has gone on thus far in this semi-final, Terzic, of course, has remained relatively unscathed for the moment, because I can't help but feel Gordon Much is just lining him up here, and Devin Browner certainly lining Gordon Much up as well. So we're about to go on to lap 4 of 4. This is it. It's the last lap shootout. Here we go. Semi-final with the RCCO World EX Championship. We're live at Spa-Francorchamps. Big move down the inside, almost for Devin Browner, as he almost tried to shortcut La Source, where of course you do have curbs and a concrete wall. He knew precisely where to position the car. Let's stay on board with him now. This is going to be very exciting going into the chicane. Where is he going to be able to get the draft? Where is he going to get the advantage here? He dives to the inside now. This is the fight that's going on for the final position that will go through from this semi-final. Devin Browner and Gordon Much absolutely side by side. Devin Browner's got his nose in front now. Martin Stefanko's trying to buy into the battle also. Absolutely phenomenal racing, Mike.
Oh, it's crazy. Look, each position. Every one of those drivers is doing a fantastic job. Look, Beitsky, P5. she's, you know, it's unbelievable how much racing we see there and how perfect they drive. It was a shame for Dries. He was doing such a good job. Unfortunately, he got taken out, I think. But all the others, what a race.
Absolutely awesome race, and was that a mistake from Devin Browner running a bit wide? That's allowed Gordon Much back into this, and not only is it allowed Gordon Much, but Martin Stefanko as well. It's not done yet until the final centimetre of tarmac by the timing line has been reached. So please don't think this is all over. My goodness me, that was such a big save from Devin Browner to be able to hold on to that. So here we can see the cars then running up towards the chicane for the final time of asking. What a semi-final. Alan Terzic then, he's comfortable in that P1 position. And I think Devin Browner has probably done enough. He'll feel that the wrongs of the earlier race have been righted now. Alan Terzic does take the checkers from Devin Browner, Gordy Much. Then it was Martin Stefanko, Bajski Vissa, Wiltrugurtha, Lobato, Kristensen, Schmidt, Vantor. Therefore, the two going through from this are Alan Terzic and Gordon Much. I have to say, Mike, credit to all the drivers. Brilliant, exciting, and furthermore, hugely entertaining racing.
Yes. I'm sure Davin is not so happy because Alan, you know, basically did the trick, or let's say a little bit of a dirty move the race before. That's maybe why he won this one. But he did a fantastic job here. And, you know, that's part of the game. You always try to, you know, use every little bit of a gray area, and the competition level is so high. So I liked it a lot. It was crazy to watch, honestly. It was so nice, and that's what I love about it, you know. Where do you see such a close racing over all the laps? I mean, that was amazing.
Just what you were saying in conversation with Martin and Louisa, you know, we're here because we're loving it. Alan Terzic then P1, Devin Browner, although P2, Gordon Much for ACER VERO R8G, of course, going through from that semi-final. But credit to all the drivers, including Martin Stefanko, Bajska Vissa, Wiltrugurtha, Rafael Lobato, Thomas Schmidt, Oscar Kristensen, and Dries Vantor, who I feel a bit sorry for, but hey, Dries knows very well what racing is like. Sometimes it goes your way, sometimes it does not go your way, but what a semi-final to enjoy. Well done, and credit to all our mix of esports and professional racers for doing such a good job. Brilliant race, thoroughly entertaining. Very briefly, we will go back to Martin and Louisa once again. How do you keep it all together?
Ooh.
Well, the funny thing is, Chris Overend said it in his track guide that we're going to have a wonderful and very much entertaining evening. And yes, we had it so far. And I'm absolutely exhausted because Louisa and me, we were sitting in front of the screen. No, stop. What's that? Oh my God. That was really amazing, really great.
Not dare to do a sound here, but it was really tense, heating up right here as well. But yeah, well, I think it's well deserved for Alan. It's great that he went through.
The first final for Gordon Much?
No, not the first final for Gordy, okay. But. Yeah. I remember. Yeah. Well, but in the end of the day, we didn't saw him for quite a long time. In the final. And he's not to be underestimated. He's really fast. He's and always with a smile on his face when he's driving and being there. Last time together with his teammate Risto Capit, they did in Maastricht 1-2. Was very cool to watch as well. But yeah, I'm crossing my fingers for Alan because I think he never won a race. He had so much bad luck over the complete last season and this season as well. So I really hope it's gonna be him. But both of them will definitely deserve it.
Both, of course.
But I think it would be a good one for Alan. Would make him happy. So yeah.
We will see. We will have 2 races on the track later on the final, and we will see what's going on. The best pro or the best esport racer will win this final and a very, very entertaining evening here at the Spa-Francorchamps track in the Ardennes in Belgium at the 6th race of the World DX race series in 2022. I'm really looking forward to that, and it will be very, very, very interesting.
They are the two.
Yes, they are very focused, and for me, Alan, for me personally, you looking much more focused as you ever did before. Is Spa-Francorchamps a very, very good track for you? Alan, could you hear me now?
Me?
Yes.
Yeah, I would say it's pretty good, usually for me.
And Gordy, is there any corner you really like the most of this track, where Alan has to take a look on you? Gordon, do you hear me? No?
Gordy?
Gordy?
Hello.
Hello.
I guess
Hi, Gordy.
Yes.
Yes. Just one short question before the final. Is there any corner you really like the most at this wonderful track?
Gordy, is there any corner you like the most on this track? That's the question.
Hang on, I've started it now. I can hear him now. The bus stop. Plenty of overtaking maneuvers. I think there's the one that everyone loves. I think it's hard not to love Rouge and Radio. I think I'm getting plenty practice in tonight for next week when I head out there for the 6-hour classic. I think I'll be heading up Rouge and Radio a lot faster in this than what I will be next week, but still good fun.
Well, we were really looking forward to that final now with you both, with Gordon Much and with Alan Terzic. And I guess yes, I guess we're going to continue now with the final of Gordon Much and Alan Terzic.
And Terzic.
Best of luck, Gordy.
Best of luck.
Acting as interviewer for us. And Gordy Much, you'll be pleased to hear I left some chewing gum for you in the media centre at Spa-Francorchamps. So that's yours when you get there next week, friend. Okay.
Good luck, have fun.
This is going to be one heck of a final. Alan Terzic, already chewing the gum. He is going from P1, Gordy Much going from P2 then, and we are merely 10 seconds away from the final of tonight's RCCO World EX Championship. We are live from Spa-Francorchamps. Who will it be? And away we go. We are racing then. Good start from Alan Terzic. Gordon Much then in P2. Just a 2-lap shootout of this Spa-Francorchamps circuit. 7 kilometers of hallowed tarmac now. Where can Gordon Much try and do Alan Terzic then? And you can see that he's getting close already. These two drivers have put themselves into the final tonight by being the best of what has been a super bunch of drivers. All the racing has been exemplary and excellent. And here comes Gordon Much now on the outside of Alan Terzic. Alan just pushes the car to the middle of the track to make it more difficult for Gordon. It's exactly his right to do that because he has track position. Gordon's got to find a way by. And here on the roller coaster of the Ardennes in Belgium, it's always difficult to do that, particularly when you have such a beast of a car to drive and only 2 laps in which to do it. Oh, a bit of a slide there, and that affected both the drivers, actually, both of them getting a little bit sideways, both controlling it absolutely perfectly. There's virtually nothing between the two of them. Mike Rockefeller, hugely experienced racer. Where can Gordy Much make the difference, do you think?
I think he is, Alan has been very strong the whole night. But for me, Gordon, he was quiet. He was really taking his opportunities, which were there. And he made it to the final, and well-deserved. So I hope he stays close. Now he needs to be there. He was good on the braking for me into the last chicane. He was just making fun. before in the interview where he said he loves this place, the bus stop here, which he actually does. You see, he was just going. I mean, he closed the gap. So let's see. I think Terzic needs to watch out there. Now he's close enough. If he makes La Source with a good line and a good exit, I'm pretty sure he has a good shot after Rouge and Radio.
For me, this is Gordon Mutch playing it with his head. He knew that this is the lap that he needs to do it. So now he has got to do it, and he's got to do it right. He's going to get one opportunity, and this will be the last opportunity. So as he tries to reel in Alan Terzic now, as they head towards the chicane. So once again, Alan Terzic, he puts the car in the middle of the track, which is his right to do that. But now Gordon Mutch is even more determined, and he has put himself ahead of Alan Terzic. Let's see now as they run down through Malmedy now, heading towards Rivage. This is going to be such an exciting battle all the way to the checkered flag. Gordon Mutch, in my opinion, he'd got it sussed. He used the first lap almost as a rehearsal because he knew it was going to be the second lap when he needed to do it. And do it he has done, but he's got to hold on to that P1 place now.
Yeah, but he's in a good spot. I mean, now you can see Terzic. He's a little bit in the dirty air. I mean, it's still super close. We will see. For me, after Blanchiment for the last chicane, I'm pretty sure there will be a tight maneuver from Terzic. But we have seen the lap before. Gordon Mutch was extremely good on the brakes. They both used the track limit. I would say a bit too extreme, but fair and square. They both did the same.
Yes, absolutely. There was no advantage gained by either of the drivers, but now Alan Terzic knows it's now or never. He has really got to close in on Gordon Mutch, and he's going to have to be king of the late breakers and have a go going through the bus stop chicane. They both almost shortcut the chicane. I think Gordon Mutch has done enough as he heads towards the line and the checkered flag. What a phenomenal race win for Gordon Mutch then. And Alan Terzic has to settle for P2.
Wow.
GG.
Look how relaxed he is.
Awesome. And I am absolutely convinced, Mike Rockenfeller. I don't say many things that are correct, but Gordon Mutch, I believe he used lap one as just almost a rehearsal to know where he could really push, because he'd got to do it on lap two to have no opportunity for Alan Terzic to come back at him. Gordon Mutch, this is Dave in the commentary studio, also in the UK. I hope you can hear me.
I can hear you. How are you?
I'm great. Listen, friend, we have just seen a masterclass from you. Well done. That was brilliant. Please make me sound like I'm cleverer than I am not. I thought that you were going to use lap one as a rehearsal to do it on lap two. Was that the case?
Yes, it was. Like throughout the races, I tried going around the outside of the chicane. And it just didn't work. So in my mind, as long as you were ahead going into that last chicane, you had a really good shot at the win because it's so hard to get around the outside. So what I made sure is that I led on the second lap, so I was ahead going into the last bus stop, and then from there it was just kind of controlling that inside line and just making sure that Alan couldn't make it around the outside.
Well done to you. An absolutely awesome drive. I said just as you were about to start the race that I had left some chewing gum in the media centre at Spa-Francorchamps for you for next weekend. Make that a can of fizzy pop for you now, friend. Iron brew, probably. You'll really enjoy that. Many congratulations to you, Gordon. That was a brilliant race, but I think you will testify as well that all the drivers tonight, it's been brilliant racing for us.
Yeah, absolutely. I think... I think it's a really exciting championship. It makes for some super close racing. These cars, require a lot of skill to drive. They're so hard, super fast. So you really have to be on your toes. So I think when you're seeing great racing, it's a testament to how well everyone's doing and how well the series is run. So props to you guys as well.
Thanks so much. Gordon Mutch then, many congratulations to your winner tonight and well-deserved. Brilliant race. Brilliant racing from everyone tonight. We will, of course, get confirmation of the result, and here is Alan Terzic then. who I have to say, disappointment potentially for Alan, but he gave it his everything and has driven exceptionally once again. And what I like about Alan is the fact that he is an absolutely, totally, dare I say this, yeah, absolutely balls out driver. He gives it absolutely everything and really entertains. Alan, I hope I haven't offended you by saying that.
No, not at all. It's the type of racing I like, and I like to put on a show aside from winning, which I haven't done much, but maybe one day.
Your time will come. There is no question, because you are immensely talented. And the thing is, what you've said there actually exemplifies everything I believe about motor racing. Of course, it is hugely serious. It's hugely competitive. But if we don't entertain, we are not racing. And you are one of life's motorsport entertainers. And well done. I take my hat off to you.
Thank you.
Right. That's enough from me. I've done enough. I've offended everyone, perhaps with the exception of Martin Kumaro, who I don't think I've offended. So we go back to Martin Louisa. What a night of racing. Absolutely awesome.
Stunning.
Yes, of course. I'll try to come back with breath because I never expected that one. But we always have to come back to the track guide of Mr. Overend, but we're going to start first of all with the race result. Gordon Mudge from Scotland won the race at the wonderful Spa-Francorchamps track. Alan Terzic second, Devin Browner from third, so not a queue of 3 wins, only the third place for Devin. Martin Stefanko in the 4th position, Beitske Visser from the Netherlands in 5th position, the best lady in the field, Wilfried Gerther on the 6th position, Rafael Lobato 7th place, Thomas Schmidt from Switzerland, Oscar Kristensen from Denmark, and quite unlucky Dries van Tor, who did a brilliant job in the semi-final, didn't jump into the final. But just what Dave said before, that's racing. That could happen, of course.
Yeah,
of course.
But yeah, it was just today, just cool racing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It was it took my breath, it took my speech, it took my words. Happy for Thomas Schmidt as well, because he's in the top 10 again.
Yes.
He's really progressing. I think one has to appreciate that as well.
And of course, I guess Beitske with the 5th place, she's a tiny little bit ahead of a semi-final win and a win of the final, because she's just what you said, she's progressing, she's doing better and better and better from race to race to race, and she was always very fast in the end of the day, but she didn't jump into the final. So I guess we can really take a look on her career in the future. Walter is now leading strongly the World
Still,
EX, the World EX Championship in 2022. With 107 points. Danish Dynamite in the 2nd position with 89 points. And then it gets closer. The Vero 88 car was winning today with Mr. Mudge.
The Vero 8 won today, yes.
And 83 points with the Vero 88. Alan Terzic put some points on his Zebrelen car. 68 points now on the 4th position. Zebra Kira. From BS Competition, 49 points on the 5th position, followed by Williams Esports, 44 points. And these are the leading guys. Gordon, you said in the beginning, before the fun, you said a tiny little bit funny that the bus stop is your favorite corner. I guess after this one, the rehearsal for the race week next weekend, I guess the bus stop is now your loved corner, isn't it?
I mean, yeah, I kind of said it as a joke before, but I guess as a result, the bus stop went in my favor. So from now on, the bus stop is my favorite corner of Spa. Yeah.
So many close races in the past of the World EX Championship last season and this season. First time a winner. How does it feel? I guess due to the fact that you always have to also have to rehearse for the next weekend, I guess it was perfectly planned by the World EX that you have the race win now this weekend at Spa, isn't it?
Hopefully it's a foreshadow. We need to see. Yeah, I've been doing. I've done a good few of these World EX races. I think I've had quite a few podiums, but I've never managed to get the wins. So yeah, it's nice to finally stand on the top step. Alan didn't make it easy, but he sure made it fun.
Gordon, I wish you all the best for the next weekend for the real racing on Spa-Francorchamps. And remember, bus stop is your corner. Have a great race over there. Thank you for the wonderful, entertaining racing this evening. And thank you very much. We're going to see us next time. And I guess that was Spa-Francorchamps.
Yeah, that was it. It was stunning. It was brilliant racing, brilliant lineup, brilliant track. Everything's brilliant. Next time we are racing in Monza. We are going to Italy. Really looking forward to that. So if you don't like to miss anything, keep up to date. Keep watching our social media channels at RCCO World EX. And until then, have a great time.
Absolutely. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.